And welcome back to the Paddy Power Sports Network. I'm Pat Williams. He's Monte Skates. We're talking NBA playoff basketball. Finally, Monte,
After
it's here.
6 months waiting, we finally got it.
All right, Sunday, the two early games. You'll be able to watch both of these games on TV, I'm sure. Let's start with the San Antonio Spurs, my favorite to win it all this year, hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Monte, we've got the Spurs 9-206. Let's start with Dallas. They haven't been able to slow down the Spurs at all this season.
No, not at all. They're 0-4 straight up, 1-3 against the spread versus this team. You're right. They have a really hard time slowing them down. The Spurs have not scored less than 109 points in any one of the four meetings so far.
All right, so we've got this San Antonio team. It looks like they're healthy, all hands on deck. They can beat you so many different ways. 9 points, even though San Antonio is 8-2 in their last 10 overall. It's playoff basketball. I got to think Dallas is going to lay it all on the line this first game.
Yeah, you'd want to think that 9 is a little bit too much here, and you think Dallas is going to come in and give you everything they have. Definitely in the first meeting, starting the playoffs, they're obviously going to be fired up. And you're right about the health of the team. Popovich did a great job managing minutes. There's nobody on this team averaging more than 30 minutes a night. He's done a great job. Has all his guys healthy. It's going to be a tough game for Dallas to win, but you're right. 9 could be a bit much.
All right, I like the total in this game, and let me tell you why. San Antonio has averaged 112 points against Dallas.
Right.
Dallas is going to come out. They can't really slow the game down. That's really not how they play.
No, it's not. This is a jump shooting team. They like an up-tempo pace, and you're right. They're going to three of the 4 games have gone over so far this season, so that plays to your point, as well as the fact if you look back at the meetings this year, they've averaged 213 points in across the 4 meetings there. So you're talking about 206.5 there. It seems like they could easily get to that.
And you made a good point before we started rolling the camera that San Antonio might be a good play in the first quarter. Dallas has not led in any of the first quarters.
It has not led at any point in any of the first quarters in the 4 meetings. So, yes, take a look at that first quarter there. If you can get it at 2, probably be at 2.5. But if you see 2, jump on that.
All right, let's take a look at the defending champion Miami Heat hosting the Charlotte Bobcats in the playoffs. Wow, in the East, anything can happen.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, here we go. The Miami Heat, 9.5, 189. First blush, Miami's dominated the season series, 4-0, 3-1 against the number, 3-1 to the over, including 3 straight. But you're going to tell me Charlotte can play with Miami.
Well, Pat, you look at it. Okay, they played 4 times this season. You look and say, hey, well, Miami's beaten this team by an average of 10.5 points. But when you look a little bit closer here, you look at 2 of these games, Miami won by 1 point, and they did win by 8 in another, but that was an overtime game. Miami went ahead and won that game in OT. So this team can play with Miami if they play to their strengths and Miami's weaknesses.
I mean, not that any team could slow down the king, LeBron James, but I don't see that athletic body on the Charlotte Bobcat roster that can slow down LBJ.
No, and I think Henderson's going to be the guy that's going to guard him. He's obviously not good enough to do so. It'll be by committee. You're going to see LeBron double-teamed a great deal, trying to get the ball out of his hands.
And you'll see him on the post a lot, too, man, if you got Henderson
Yeah,
guarding.
absolutely. He'll go down low. But what I think Charlotte's going to need to do is they're obviously going to need to dominate the paint because Miami is extremely weak down there, and they have a guy that can do it, Al Jefferson, one of the best big men in the game, not really well known, but a big-time low-post threat. He can go down there, score, and get rebounds. Miami is one of the worst rebounding team in the NBA, so Charlotte needs to take advantage of them in the paint and on the backboards, and they can keep some of these games close.
Can Charlotte steal one here?
Let's not go that far.
Will you lay the 9.5?
I'm
or
not
will
going
you take the 9.5?
I'm going to – my goodness. You're putting me to a pick here on this one. I'm not really feeling strongly on this, Pat, but I'm going to go ahead and say lay the 9.5 with Miami in the opening game. I don't think Charlotte is going to be ready for the moment. Miami is obviously going to be fired up at home, ready to make a statement here in their three-peat run here. So I don't think Charlotte's going to be ready for the moment just yet, maybe when you get back home to Charlotte.
Again, I like over 189. He's Monte Skates. I'm Pat Williams. Good luck on all your selections in this season's NBA playoffs. We'll see you right back here on the Paddy Power Sports Network.